Right, we should be live. We should be live. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you're well. Hopefully you're well on this fine Friday evening here in the UK. It's a bit wet, it's a bit cold, very dark, as you'd expect. The winter's well and truly here. But this weekend we do have some good fights. I think the main fight of this weekend is Josh Warrington versus Luis Alberto Lopez. I think that's going to be a really, really, really interesting fight, to be honest. And I think I think it's a hard fight for Josh Warrington. In fact, I'm picking Lopez for the upset. But stylistically, I think regardless of who wins, it's going to be a really, really good fight. Really good fight. So we'll see. We'll see in regards to that one. But I've got the upset. Yeah, bro, Croatia knocking out Brazil, man. I mean, when Neymar scored, I thought it was over, to be honest. But Croatia are that kind of just dogged, determined team, and they never really know when they're beaten, and that obviously keeps you in games. And at the end, Pektovic scores, levels it up, and they beat Brazil on penalties. I mean, Croatia's penalties were really good, man. Really, really good penalties, especially the last one they scored, like right in the corner, low and hard, right in the corner. And yeah, Brazil, man, Brazil bottled it. Neymar bottled it. I don't know why the guy wasn't first up, to be honest. So you let a young 21-year-old, that Rodrigo kid, take it. Why wasn't Neymar on it? I don't want to hear people say like Neymar's on the level of a Messi or like Ronaldo. The guy is levels below. Say what you want about Ronaldo now, he's way past it, but I'm talking like prime. Neymar's nowhere near these guys, man. Not in regards to skill, output, quality, or mentality. Not close to those guys. And Modric, by the way, Modric again, 37 years old. That guy's a class player, man. Even now, class player. To play 120 minutes the way he did at 37 years old against Brazil. I tell you what, man, Modric is all-time great status as a midfielder. All-time great status. I'm hoping as well, Argentina get knocked out tonight. I'm hoping Holland do the job. Don't like Argentina. Imagine if David Avanesyan pulls the upset. I can't see it, bro. Terence Crawford is aging. That is true, but I think Crawford's going to have way too much. I think Avanesyan will give it a go, but Crawford will pick holes in that defense. I think the uppercut in particular for Terence Crawford will be a very good shot for him in this fight. And I would maybe expect Crawford to stop Avanesyan late. Another thing I don't get about this fight, man, is the whole like the fact that this fight is on BLK Prime, some random ass streaming service. Apparently, this dude's getting paid 10 million, and it's on pay-per-view, right? So it's on a streaming service in which nobody knows of. It's on pay-per-view, and they're paying this guy $10 million. Then obviously you have to pay Avanesyan, the undercard, the costs for renting out the arena. I'd like to ask, who is paying for this? Because they are going to lose money on this card. They're going to lose money on this card. Who's paying for this and why? Because I understand sometimes you have to take a gamble. But there's a difference between a gamble and just throwing your money away. I think the whole financing of this event is very interesting, peculiar, I would say. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, man. Daniel Kinahan. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, we know that he had some sort of relationship with Terence Crawford, so who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's some sort of money laundering. Who knows? Yeah, Brazil bottled it, man. Yeah, I predicted Brazil as well. My new prediction is France. No, zero chance. AJ knocks him out in 2 or 3 rounds. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now we just need France and Argentina to go home, and we have a World Cup for the ages. Yeah, facts. I hope Holland do it tonight. They have, yeah. This Holland team, though, I think with this current Holland team, I don't like the lack of firepower in regards to like a centre forward. Crazy man. I thought Croatia were dead and buried when Neymar scored, but they stuck in there and one chance took a deflection, went in, and yeah, when it went to penalties, I had a feeling that Croatia would do it. I just had a feeling, and their spot kicks were perfect, perfect penalties. I enjoyed the game though. I enjoyed the game. It has to be Alex. It has to be. Unless they're just trying to build this platform from scratch and they're gonna sink a lot of money in early on, we'll see. That never usually ends well though. Big up apology. How you doing, bro? Connor's chin. Sorry, Connor chins Michael Chandler. I don't know about that. Mm. Apologies got the Netherlands. I'm saying France. I'm saying France. I know they had a lot of investment money from investment group, Waddle and Reed. Where they're getting their money from now, I'd assume it's just Showtime. They give them a budget. Oh, Lopez. Luis Alberto Lopez all day long. I'm picking him to win, Jiho. I'm picking him to win. No, not really, bro. It's Argentina. Not really. Can you imagine if we get a Portugal-Argentina final? Like the stands of like Messi and Ronaldo, man, it's going to be crazy. Nah, it's not happening. Not seen him. No, I've not seen the pictures. No, I did actually. It looked like an old picture to me, though. If it's new, he looks terrible. Probably not. Apology. I'll watch it the next day. I'll catch up the next day. What's up, Ian? How you doing? You mean I mean, listen, Chisora said he's going to continue, but like, who can he fight now? Who can he fight? I've got no interest now in seeing Chisora. I mean, the guy's taken so much punishment in his career, so much punishment, and it's only going to get worse from here now. It's only going to get worse from here. Maybe DAZN will try and chuck him in with Zili Zhang, maybe something like that. But he should retire now. He's 38 years old. I think he's had like 13 defeats, well over 40 fights. He might be good. He might be good. He might be strong. Too big, too strong, Albanian boxer. He could be strong. Yeah, I still think France. I still think France now. After the first when we went into the World Cup, I said Brazil. After we saw the first round of the games, I said Brazil and France are the favourites. So I'm going to stick with France. Bro, Dubois a knockout waiting to happen. Dubois a knockout waiting to happen. The thing is with Dubois, he does have a good jab. He does have decent power. And he is strong. But when you look at his style, do you think he's improved since he first turned pro? I've not really seen the improvements. He still keeps his head dead on center line. His guard is too wide. Sometimes he'll drop that lead hand a bit too low. Comes in pretty square. And defensively, he's pretty poor. I don't really see the improvements in his game. And when he steps up again, I can see him getting knocked out. Good question. So yeah, if Usyk is next for Fury, then who does Joyce fight next? Who does Joyce fight next? See, I would like to say someone like Hrgovic, but it's not going to happen because Hrgovic is the IBF Mando. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see someone like Caballel, Jay's Boxing Universe. Yeah, exactly. He can't be wanting for money, Chisora. He's earned a shit ton of money, especially in the last few years. So yeah, he just needs to call it a day now. In fact, I think he should have really called it a day a long while ago. He should have really called it a day a few fights ago, because I've said this before. I was watching a video on SMB Boxing. He did like a documentary on Chisora versus Hay, and that fight was 10 years ago. And he included some interviews, and Chisora's speech from then to now has got so much worse. So much worse. Yeah, I saw that game. That was a good game, Albanian boxer. That was a good game. Yeah, I think Mbappe will get top scorer now. I think Mbappe is going to get top scorer. I mean, he's already on, what, 5 goals, Mbappe? And the next guy has 3. So, yeah, I think Mbappe's got it already, mate, to be honest. And he'll score against us, more than likely, knowing England. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Nabzila. I agree. And also a guy with a good straight jab, hard jab, 1-2, pierce that guard of Dubois. They need to be so careful with Dubois going forwards. Like, I'm talking... I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think this WBA regular title is good for him, to be honest, because it adds extra pressure when he's clearly not ready, is he? Yeah, I was saying this earlier. It should have been Neymar. It should have been Neymar. But he bottled it, as far as I'm concerned. Why wouldn't you take a penalty? The guy bottled it. Absolutely bottled it. And people put that guy on the same level as a Ronaldo or a Messi. Madness. Absolute madness. Like, people call him like the second best player in the world and shit. Like, he's not as... Nah, come on, man. Like, Mbappe's levels above, like, Neymar. Levels. If Tio fights the same way he did against George Kambosos, then it's possible, but I don't think he will. I think he'll be a lot more calm in this fight, and I think he'll win. Late stoppage or points. I think he'll just hit a bit too hard for Sandor Martin. Be a bit too robust, I would say. Good fight, though. It's a decent fight. It's a decent fight. Sandor Martin is a crafty southpaw. Doesn't give much away. Problem he has, though, he's not a big puncher. Doesn't really set his feet that much, which he may need to do against Tio to get his respect. And I don't think he's going to win a fight. Let's say we think he wins 7-5. I don't think he's going to get that on the scorecards. So he needs to really up his game here. Like, even the version who beat Mikey won't be enough, in my opinion. Won't be enough. Pernell Whitaker beats Floyd Mayweather. I mean, maybe. Would be a good fight. Yeah, exactly, Rio. The greats want to take those penalties. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. No, I'm not saying Neymar's a bad player. He's clearly, like, super talented. But I don't put him on that level that a lot of people do. I don't. Oh my god. Do you want to get Chisora killed, Crazy D3? Do you want to get Chisora killed? Joe Joyce will fucking dominate that guy, bro. That'll be ugly as well, because Joe Joyce isn't going to one-punch him. That's going to be a bit of a beating for as long as it lasts. And then eventually Chisora will get pulled out, or he'll quit, or whatever, or he'll get knocked out. But it will take a few rounds, and that's going to be a lot of unnecessary punishment on Chisora. More free CTE. I wouldn't say batter Rio. I mean, they can win. Honestly, I've not really been, apart from like the Mexico game, I think it was, I've not really been that impressed with Argentina. I've not really been that impressed with Argentina. I'll tell you who I was impressed with, though, Portugal, when they beat Switzerland 6-1. I know Switzerland are not like a great team, but they never get pumped. They never get pumped, and Portugal ripped those guys to shreds. That striker Ramos, man, he looked very good. Very good. And also, I'll tell you who I am enjoying watching in this World Cup. I think he's had a really good World Cup. Is Bruno Fernandes for Portugal? Yeah, Chisora's on Parkinson's Express. Yeah, facts. Could be a scripted. Yeah, it could be scripted. Yeah, it could be. Jay Apataya versus Steve Cunningham, prime for prime. Who wins? I think you've got to go with Steve right now. Steve was very elusive, great jab, hard to pin down, and Jay's a bit of a boxer as well. I think Steve might outpoint him. It's a good fight though. It's a good fight. I would say Jay has the power advantage, but I think Steve is slicker, a bit quicker, and a better boxer overall. Good fight though. Yeah, facts. Yeah, I mean, some YouTube boxers would give those guys a hard fight. Harley Ben is terrible, like dreadful. I mean, he got his boxing license in the bottom of a fucking Cheerios box. Portugal should annihilate Morocco, but Morocco, bro, I'm telling you, Morocco are fucking. They are a very well organized team. Very well organized. But I like this World Cup so far, man. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's in winter. It just doesn't feel the same. But I think it's delivered in terms of like entertainment. We've had shocks, we've had upsets, unfancy teams like Morocco doing well. I mean, I've enjoyed it so far. I've enjoyed it. I think I'll lose interest though when we go out tomorrow because we ain't beating France. I can't see it. I really can't see it. Unless for us to beat France, we have to really turn up, and France don't. You know, they've got to be at their worst, and we have to be at our best, in my opinion. Yeah, apparently he got paid a couple of million. He got paid a couple of milli. Hopefully, though, he can enjoy that money. We shall see. We shall see. I'm telling you now, we're still going to see Eubank versus Ben. I agree. I think we're still going to see it as well. I think we're still going to see it. Although Eubank's got a fight coming up in January against Liam Smith, which I think's a decent fight. The only thing is, though, it's on pay-per-view. It's not a pay-per-view worthy fight. It's a good Sky Sports main event. That's what that is. It's a good fight, but I'm not paying for it. I'll steal it. I'll steal it. And speaking of boxing news, actually, Emmanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez has been set. That's going to go down, I believe, in February of next year. 3rd of February next year, Navarrete versus Valdez. I think that is for the vacant WBO super featherweight title. And also on the undercard, you have Arnold Barboza versus Jose Pedraza. That's a really, really, really good card. My voice went then, sorry. That's a really good card, though. And we've got Smith versus Eubank set for next year. Tank Davis is fighting early next year. I mean, early next year is looking okay so far. F.A. Ajagba versus Oscar Rivas is a decent fight. When is that F.A. Ajagba fight, actually? F.A. Ajagba. Yeah, 14th of January, F.A. Ajagba versus Oscar Rivas. That's a good heavyweight fight, in my opinion. So early next year is actually looking pretty good. Maybe Crazy D3. Maybe, yeah. I'm hearing rumours that Kell Brook is coming back to fight Florian. Nah, that's not going to happen, Albanian boxer. That's not going to happen. Pedraza versus Barboza will be boring but competitive. I don't know. I don't know. Both guys, I don't know. I think that's going to be an intriguing fight. Might be a bit of a chess match. I think Barboza's a bit too fresh for him. Barboza's quite versatile. He can box, he can brawl, he can fight. Good output as well. I think Barboza wins. I think Barboza wins, but it's a decent fight. Best division in boxing with the least politics. 140's been one of the best in recent years. Super flyweight, cruiserweight. There's a few. Yeah, I saw that, and yeah, I mean, you could hear from his voice like he damaged his jaw or tongue. Like he was really kind of struggling. He was really struggling. But that's boxing. That's boxing. Is what it is. Yeah, Neymar not going first makes me look at him a little different, bro. Can't lie. Yeah, I mean, everybody was cussing out Roy Keane the other day for like getting annoyed about Brazil's like dancing against South Korea, and I understood. Listen, I wasn't bothered about it, but I partly agree. I mean, I don't like punching down. And listen, South Korea were terrible, right? Brazil was supposed to beat them. You say that sort of shit against the likes of Argentina or a big team. You don't do it against South Korea. And we saw today against Croatia, as soon as Croatia scored, their heads dropped, and Neymar bottling the penalty. I mean, I think Roy Keane had a point. I think Roy Keane had a point. It's all well and good taking the piss out of South Korea, but when that time came up for Neymar, he bottled it. He swallowed. Call that guy Sarah J because he swallowed. Big up to G-Man. Salute. True Crime with G-Man. Check him out. And also check out his boxing channel as well. G-Man Boxing. Every time. If Dustin Poirier wanted to switch to boxing, nah, he can't win a European title, bro. He's got good hands for an MMA fighter. But it's too late, man. Too late. Not going to happen. How does your favourite fighter Andrade do against Benavidez, Plant, Morel, and Jamal Charlo if he fights them? Gets stopped by Benavidez, gets stopped by Morel. If Jamal Charlo is at his best, he loses that, gets stopped. Caleb Plant. I don't know. I don't know about Caleb Plant. I don't really rate Caleb like that. That could happen. That could very well happen because Croatia have got the winner of Argentina, Netherlands. I'm not, bro, because I've been hyping up Benavidez for a long fucking time. I think Benavidez is going to make that guy take the knee. Honestly, I think he's going to. Caleb Plant in that fight will take the knee at some point in time. That accumulation of punishment, I believe, is going to get to him. I really do. I think he'll start well, Caleb Plant, when he's fresh, when he's fit. But Caleb Plant starts to flag round 7, round 8. Basically, I think that fight's going to be a poor man's version of Cotto Margarito. You're going to have one guy in Plant who's boxing and has success early on with his flashy 1-2 pull counter, that sort of thing. He'll look good early on, maybe win rounds. But as the fight goes on, he's going to slow down. Benavidez is going to be getting closer, landing more shots round by round. And as that fight reaches its conclusion, you're going to see Benavidez start to beat up Caleb Plant. And he either stops Caleb Plant or Caleb Plant quits. Andrade's done out here. I mean, who's he fighting? Desmond Nicholson or something? Christ. What's the point? Seriously. I mean, he may as well just fought Zach Parker because he's not going to be getting paid much more for that fight. He may as well just have fought Zach Parker, especially now in hindsight. He wants this Canelo fight so bad, but he didn't want to take the eliminator. Madness. Absolute madness. He hasn't yet, Cash. He hasn't yet. But Benavidez may make him. He may make him. I'm on the old coffee tonight, bro. I'm on coffee. We are teetotal. Teetotal. Yeah, I mean, I've always believed Andrade beats Charlo. Charlo always struggles against Southpaws. 50-50 if that fight happens in the future. I'll say it like this. If that fight is officiated fairly, Charlo wins. Charlo knocks him out. But if Andrade can hold and clinch and duck below the waist, he could win that fight. He could win that fight. He could outbox Charlo, outpoint him kind of thing. See, I think in that fight, Cash, there was a point in time when that fight was starting to turn, and for me, like Canelo was starting to get on top, and for me, Caleb Plant did nothing to alleviate that. He didn't take a risk or try to go out on his shield, man. He was content with he was content with losing a decision, in my opinion. And there was even one round where Caleb Plant kind of hurt Canelo to the body, if you remember. And my man did absolutely nothing. He was too scared to follow up. I don't think he's about it like that. I really don't. I really don't. Do you think Dubois wanted to quit in his last fight? Yes, I do. But then he praised his mental strength after. Yeah, it's crazy. I think he wanted to quit. Shane McGuigan read him the riot act and he was saved, in my opinion. Saved by corruption, but it is what it is. That's a hard one. I've got a feeling we're going to play a 5 at the back. I don't know, though. I don't really know, to be honest. Foden has to start. Obviously, I think Foden has to start. I don't know, really, though. Honestly, I don't know. But I think we're going to play a 5 at the back. I'm not sure whether that's the right idea. I think we should just try and match them. Play our usual formation that we have played. One thing I will say, though, do you play Henderson or not? I don't know. I think I'd play the set. So what we've basically been playing like a 4-2-3-1, basically. I would have Rice and Bellingham centre mid. I would have Phil Foden in the hole, Rashford on the left, and Saka on the right. Obviously, Kane up top. Yeah, that's the thing as well. If Andrade's power carries, we'll see, though. Can you imagine? Oh, yeah, Charlo Zoo's also been set January 28th. Usyk, Yard Beterbiev, yes. Some good fights early next year. Yeah, but I thought that fight was a robbery as well. Do you know what? I'm not actually worried about Shaw that much. I'm not really worried about Shaw. It's the other side. It's the other side I'm worried about. It's Mbappe. If Dembele's on it, then he might struggle, but I'm more worried about the other side. And also don't forget Giroud, man, because Giroud brings those guys into play so well. You got to be super tight to Olivier Giroud, man. Super tight to him. Giroud is so fucking underrated. It's unreal. It's unreal, and he seems to be getting better with age, which is crazy. Yeah, exactly. Ronaldo, Salah, Drogba done it. The big stars do it, but for sure Neymar should have taken the fourth. Indeed, he should have. Yeah, he's got to be. He has to be in those penalty takers. He has to be first up or second at least. Yards getting squashed. Aaron wants to do Beterbiev versus Callum Smith afterwards. Industry don't want Rusky undisputed. That's how I see it. Because Hearn doesn't seem too convinced. Aaron now doesn't seem too convinced. That's weird, man. That's weird. Probably not, bro. Nah, I won't be. Fuck that. Can't be asked going down to London to tell you the truth. Really can't be bothered. I'd have to take too much time out to do it. I just don't have the time. I don't particularly want to go to London. And I'd like to see Beterbiev, but man, it is what it is. Who wins in a street fight, Daniel Cormier or Mike Tyson? Daniel Cormier. More than likely, Daniel Cormier. Mike Tyson could knock him out, but like if those guys fought in the streets 10 times, I would say Daniel Cormier wins more than he loses. If it's a one-on-one street fight. Walker versus Mbappe. Yeah, exactly. I think Walker can keep up. He can keep up in regards to pace, but Mbappe's more than pace. People call him a pace merchant. Must have never seen him play. He's got great trickery. He can shoot on either foot. One thing about Mbappe that is really underrated, in my opinion, is his decision making. I think his decision making is really good. Really good. I think he's so underrated in that sense. He's more than just pace, Mbappe. He's more than just pace. I don't know about that. Krasniki was a decent sort of European level guy, tough guy as well. Not sure though. Yeah, Frank Warren. Exactly, Cash. Yeah, Frank's undercards aren't worth the travel. Exactly, man. And then, you got to go there, pay your money to get the ticket, get your food. I mean, then you got to get back. Do you stay there overnight? Parking if you're going to drive there. It's a fucking nightmare, man. London's a nightmare. I avoid London. I go to London like maybe once every 2 fucking years. London is good going there for a day. If you got some time off, go there for a night out, whatever. But London, to me, I just don't like London that much, personally. Yeah, I mean, that Josh Kelly Troy Williamson fight, man. I mean, bro. I mean, the way I saw people react on Twitter, I mean, people called it a masterclass and this and that. I didn't see that. I saw just Kelly prodding and probing, and he outpointed a very flat Troy Williamson. To me, it was dull. It was uninspiring. Kelly looked good in the first round, but apart from that, man, I found it boring. I mean, Kelly was holding, he was clinching and pot-shotting. I mean, he ain't going nowhere at world level at 154. Like, can you imagine, like, Josh Kelly, not even against a champion, but, like, let's say Josh Kelly versus Charles Conwell. Can you imagine what Charles Conwell would do to Josh Kelly? Charles Conwell would stop that guy like Avanesyan did, in my opinion. Or like Josh Kelly versus Sebastian Fundora. If I'm managing Josh Kelly, I would stay at British level for a little while. Maybe try to wait for the likes of Fundora, Charlo to move up, and then maybe go from there. So, yeah, I would say Josh Kelly should fight someone like JJ Metcalf next, defend that British title. Not really, bro. Not really. I think Crawford's going to be too good. He's going to be far too good. Oh, you like London, G-Man? I just don't like it. I don't know what it is about London. I don't know what it is. It's good for a night out. It's good for a night out, but like, I don't know, man. It's not my scene, bro. It's not my scene. It's never been my scene, London. You're going, G-Man, sick. Are you going to cover it, like actually cover it, like get interviews and things like that? See, I don't. I mean, Tony Harrison's a weird fighter, Cash, because his chin isn't the greatest, and sometimes in fights he fades badly. And it's the physical attributes that lets Tony Harrison down. But if you look at Tony Harrison has a tremendous jab. I would say the best jab at 154. Tony Harrison has skills to burn, and he can punch a little bit as well. But it's just the physical side that lets him down, in my opinion. It's the physical side. But I think Tony Harrison would outbox Josh Kelly comfortably. Comfortably. I've always rated Tony Harrison as a boxer. It's just it's just the physical attributes that let him down. France can be worried too. Mbappe and Dembele are lazy and leave their fullbacks exposed. That is a positive, yeah. And that's why I would play Rashford, Alex. That's why I would have Bellingham and Rice in centre mid, with Foden in the hole, Rashford on the left, Saka on the right. I know Henderson played really well last game, but again, I think you should pick your team to suit the to stand the best chance against the opposition. We're playing a back five, Andre, bro. I'm telling you, bro. We're playing a back five. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe it's because you're close to it, G-Man. Like maybe that's why I feel the way I do about London. Maybe I just take it for granted. Oh, so you're going to try and get a press pass. Nice. Nice. Yeah, hopefully you get one, bro. Yeah, London's, parking as well, man. See, me personally, I like driving places. I hate taking public transport. I hate going on fucking trains. I'd rather drive and park up somewhere, but I'm not getting fucking raped for parking. Paying stupid money to park your car. Do you know what I'm saying? Madness. Madness. Oh, and by the way, guys, in regards to this channel, the boxing channel, I am like debating kind of switching the content up in regards to how I cover boxing. So I've tried it out in a few videos, like videos that I've made this week, like the Dubois video and what else? The video on Undisputed at light heavyweight, and even a little bit in the Warrington prediction. I'm gonna try and be a little more, not trolly. That's the wrong way of describing it, but a little more abrasive. A little more abrasive. I want to switch things up, man. I want to make this fun to make videos, because taking it too seriously kind of gets boring, I'll be honest. So I'm going to try and be a little more abrasive. And on certain videos, it's going to be normal, like prediction videos. But like certain cases, I'm going to really try and be a bit out there, kind of thing. You know, have a bit of fun with it. Because what's the point? I kind of realized what's the point? Taking it super seriously when I've got no desire to get a fucking press pass or like cover events. So what's the point me taking it super seriously? I'm going to have a bit of fun with it, you know? I'm going to have a bit of fun with it. But again, in certain videos, I will be more serious, like certain prediction videos and things of that nature. But I'm going to mix it up, basically. I'm going to mix it up. That's the plan, at least. That's the plan. Okie dokie. Bang. Yeah, I saw that, G-Man. I watched that video. I didn't watch it the day you uploaded it, but I only just recently watched it, I think on Wednesday when I was at work. And yeah, I saw in the comments, man, it's like, bro, it's madness. It's absolute madness. It's absolute madness. And it wasn't like it wasn't saying you wasn't exactly saying that Hearn's done or anything like that. But you know, I mean, things have changed in the last couple of years. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he's not in as strong as a position that he once was in. That's just reality. Nah, BA, the Albanian boxer, they both knock him out. They both knock him out. Yes, hit the thumbs up, exactly, yeah. I'm not going to be, like, super obnoxious, like, just trolling for trolling's sake, but I'm going to just be a little bit more raw on certain videos, just because I want to be. Because I enjoyed, for example, like, being super, like... Because I feel like I've got the voice to be super snarky and sarcastic, and it'll wind people up. That's what I kind of want to do. I want to be like the Chris Eubank Senior of a YTBC. That being like super snarky to try and wind people up. But because they're my favourite comments, believe it or not. It's the ones that, you touched a nerve, or they're kind of triggered. They're my favourite comments. They're my favourite comments. It does indeed, Lakota. It does indeed. I wouldn't say so. Top Rank, they will work with Eddie Hearn. They will work with Eddie Hearn. PBC, on the other hand, not so much. Not so much. I think Top Rank, though, if it makes sense, they will do it. And I'll tell you what, Top Rank right now have some excellent prospects. Keyshawn Davis, I really like the look of for a start. Very good prospect. They have the heavyweight prospect as well, Richard Torres, who looks good. They got some good fighters, man. They got some good fighters, good young fighters. Great fight, that is. That's a really good fight. I say it's a great fight. It's not really, because I think we all know Fundora is going to win, but I think Harrison's going to make it entertaining for as long as it lasts. He put the best fights out this year. He put the biggest fights out this year, but did he put the best fights out? I'm not sure. Honestly, bro, I would have to have a complete list of all of the PBC fights, all of the Matchroom fights, and all of the Top Rank fights. I would have to have a complete list so I can compare and contrast. But he's definitely put the biggest on, because he put on Canelo Bivol, Canelo Golovkin 3, Usyk AJ 2. So he's put the biggest fights on, but biggest doesn't always mean best. Like, how many of those were great fights? I thought AJ Usyk was a decent fight. Canelo Golovkin 3 was terrible. Canelo Bivol was what it was. It was just an average, easy kind of routine win for Bivol. None of them were great fights. That's weird. Yeah, that really made me scratch my head, Crazy D3. Yeah, staging fights during the World Cup. Yeah, that's another thing, So I'm going out tomorrow to watch this game around a mate's house. Then I think I'm going to try and drive back. It takes half an hour to drive back from where I'm going. The game's going to end, providing it ends in normal time. It's going to end about what, 9:15? I think I would get back in time for the main event in Leeds on the Warrington card. But it's whether we go to extra time. I think Florian could be a good European level guy, but hang on. I can't type. Okie dokie. Yeah, Hearn needs to get back to 2016, Hearn, because he's all over the place these days with these cards. Yeah, indeed. I think as well, with Eddie Hearn, he's spread himself too thin domestically. Like, he's let a lot of mid-card fighters go. And we're talking about guys like Liam Smith, like Sam Eggington. These are guys who, yeah, they're not the greatest fighters in the world, but in the right fight on an undercard, they can really improve a card. And I think Eddie's lost a few too many of those sort of fighters. But it is what it is. Will Warrington? I mean, listen, Lee, he's got a chance. I've got, you sometimes you get those feelings, right? I just got a feeling Lopez is going to do it. It's a great fight, though. And it's a shame, Lee, because this fight has gone so under the radar. So under the radar, mainly because it's the World Cup for a start, but also because nobody knows who Lopez is. It's one of those rare times, when a governing body, when they'll make a Mando, and very often we get Mandos where nobody's heard of a guy and he's shit, right? These bum-ass mandatories. However, this is a rare occasion where nobody really knows the guy, but he's very dangerous. It's a banana skin type of fight for Warrington. And listen, I've set my stall out. If Warrington wins this fight and he doesn't cheat, I will give him all of the credit in the world because Lopez isn't a bad fighter. I'll give him credit. I'll give him more credit than most. Chris Jenkins can't make 140 these days. I heard about Avanesyan versus Harlem Eubank, Albanian boxer. That's the fight that Avanesyan seems to be looking for. I think he'll fucking take care of Avanesyan. I think Avanesyan will take care of Eubank. Yeah, true that. And especially, I think that all started with the DAZN deal because early on he was sending all of his domestic guys to get bashed up in America. And that obviously took away from his Sky cards. And quite frankly, when you look at it, there's been a couple of decent DAZN UK cards, but on a whole, they've been pretty poor. Like, we was promised, this bigger, grander version of Matchroom on DAZN, but for me at least, in the UK, it's not happened. I think Hearn in America has actually been okay. Like the card last weekend, for example, was really good. The Gonzalez Estrada free card. That was a good card. He's doing okay in America. He's doing okay, but like in the UK, he's been shit this year, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. That's what happens with so many networks. There's that as well. I know, right? Oh, yo, bro, as well. Imagine, because the game will happen before that main event kicks off. Imagine we lose and there's a load of pissed up Leeds fans in there. Then Warrington loses. There's gonna be trouble. Marku knocks out Tyrone McKenna in 3 McKenna. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think McKenna will last longer. Depends. I'm not sure. I would need to go and rewatch Lennox again. It's been so long since I've watched his fights. Which England squad was better, 2002 or the 2006 one? In terms of name value, there wasn't much in it, but I'd say 2006. See, those were squads, though, that had great names, but for whatever reason, we could never gel a team together. Well, I know the reason. Like, the fact that Paul Scholes should have always been prioritised by England. The midfield should have been built around Paul Scholes. That's the truth. Because as good as Gerrard and Lampard were, they couldn't control a game like Scholes could. Like, there's a reason why the likes of Xavi, Iniesta, etc., they highlight Paul Scholes and not Gerrard and not Lampard. Scholes was that sort of player. Like, if you asked Pirlo, who's his sort of player, I'm sure he'd say Paul Scholes. And it was the same with Carrick, in my opinion. I think Carrick, when in the late 2010s, the late noughties, early 2010s, I think Carrick should have been England's sort of deep play and playmaker. But, we tried to shoehorn Gerrard and Lampard in the same team. There was moments when we played Paul Scholes on the left. I mean, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. England wasted that generation, though, with a poor manager in Sven-Goran Eriksson. We wasted that generation. What did Alf Ramsey say? You don't always pick your best players, you pick your best team. Good fight. That's a good fight, you know. So I thought you meant I'd like to see Wilder and Piccoli. That'd be a good fight. But I think Wilder will fight Ruiz and Piccoli. I mean, who knows, man? He's in the who needs him club, really. Do you know what I mean? He's not exactly on a high list of priorities right now, unfortunately for him. Even though he got a big win in his last fight, I wouldn't mind seeing Piccoli versus Zili Zhang. I think that'd be a good fight. Yeah, even Zidane rated Scholes. Yeah, Scholes was a baller. I know there's like people who don't like Man United, but Scholes was technically superb. Like, there's a reason why he played at such a high level at like 38 years old until like 38. How old was he when he retired? I think he was 38. I'll always remember, right? So he retired and then he came back 6 months later for the rest of the season, if you remember. And he came back, and his first game, I think, was against Man City in like an FA Cup game. And at like 37 years old, he bossed that midfield, man. He bossed that midfield. Scholes was, to me, Scholes was above Giggs, above Beckham, above Keane. To me, Scholes was that guy as a United fan. To me, Scholes was that guy. Never seen anything like him in a United shirt since. Like, honestly, I'll say this as well. Giggs's longevity was extremely impressive, and he got technically more proficient as he got older. But I think the whole thing of Giggs being a one-club man kind of got him overrated. I'm saying that as a United fan. And I'm not saying he wasn't a very good player, because he was. But if you look in his position, in his prime, there were so many other players in Europe who had much better output. But not many could do what Scholes did. Not many could do what Scholes did, in my opinion. Maybe Albanian boxer. I mean, I'm kind of burned out on that now. Crawford and Spence. I really thought we was going to see it this year. I really did. Whoever wins France versus England is winning this World Cup. Maybe. If France win, I agree. But even if we somehow beat France, I still don't think that would give me faith in this team. It's England, right? And, you know, as an England fan, I've been so used to disappointment. So it's hard to really go in confident into any tournament with England. It's just hard. Because even if we beat France, we got to play Portugal. And Portugal looked very good. Well, Portugal have got to beat Morocco, but I think they will do. Good fights. I want to see those fights as well, Lee. I want to see those fights as well. But if I'm Josh Taylor, I concentrate on Catterall, right that wrong, do a good job on him, and I would have an entry fight at welterweight to get used to the weight. What would you not rather be? Not qualify for the World Cup, but end up being last in the World Cup? I'd rather not even qualify, I'll be honest with you, than like come to the bottom of a group in the World Cup. I'd rather not qualify. But I don't know, man. The frustration I have with this England team is not necessarily the team itself, it's the manager. I just don't trust that guy. Like, for me, we've got some of our best talent in a long time, especially in attacking areas. And we've got a negative, pragmatic manager. You know? I don't think we're necessarily playing to our strengths. I really don't. But there you go. That's just my opinion. Because defensively, we're not great. We're not great defensively. We're not blessed with like quality defenders right now. So I would try to build off our attack. and really go for games. If I was Taylor, I'd forget about the Catterall rematch. They started talks for that fight in July and it's still not confirmed. I thought it was confirmed. Because I thought they said it's going to be on Sky Box Office. I'm sure Sky confirmed it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Fuck, 1 second, hang on. I'm going to put a stream on in the background, because we don't pay for fucking BBC around here, bro. We don't pay for that shit. We ain't paying for a TV license. What is a TV license? Absolute fucking con. I beg you guys, if somebody scores in this game, don't spoil it because I'm behind in the stream. I don't know if I don't know if it's nostalgia, but for me, football has declined in terms of quality. What I will say, bro, I think what you see now is there's a lot more, like, footballers these days are a lot more athletic. It's pace, it's power, things of that nature. I don't see the same amount of ballers I used to see back in the day, like just technicians, pure ballers. I'm talking the likes of a Ronaldinho, for example, a Nevdied, guys like that. There's not as many like pure ballers now, you know. There's not as many. That's one thing I will say. Guys who just take the piss, man. Like a Zidane. These sort of guys. Even like those sort of deep playing playmaker types, like a Xavi or a Pirlo. There's none of those sort of like ballers anymore. That's what I notice. Football is a lot more physical now. A lot of these guys these days are better athletes than back in the day. And you saw that in the Spain game. Spain technically were keeping the ball really well. They was passing it, no cutting edge. Morocco physically, though, matched them and even exceeded them in some circumstances. It's not enough now just to be technical, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong on that, though. Yeah, close down Griezmann. I'll tell you what, Griezmann's a damn good player, though. He is a very good player. Oh, they pushed it, but oh my God. Are you serious? Okay, so they don't want Liam Smith-Eubank and Taylor Catterall on the same month. It makes sense. Well, neither really are pay-per-view, in my opinion. Big up Marianne G, salute. Yeah, Zidane was a fucking baller. JJ Okocha's another one. JJ Okocha's another one. Yeah, that's what I mean. The guys who like you enjoyed just watching. Like, you're going to get some fancy tricks and shit, and they might score a fucking banger, that sort of thing. Who else did I really like back in the day? I'll tell you who I loved. I think football probably my passion for football probably died in like 2013, 2014. But one team I really enjoyed was Bayern Munich, with Ribéry on one side and Robben on the other. Awesome team, man. Awesome. Portugal versus Argentina, CR7 versus Messi, grand finale, or Croatia versus France for rematch. I'd rather see Portugal, Argentina. Yeah, it's very much a systems game now. Yeah, I've been saying that since 2018. Croatia was the baller team, technical team. France was the athletic team. Yep. That's what a lot of old school football fans don't like to acknowledge, though, is that football's changed since like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Like, they'll bring up certain teams like the old Brazil team and whatnot, but I don't think they would really beat any modern great teams. I really don't. I really don't. Like, the France team of 2018, I think would mop them. Italy were a bit of a throwback though in the Euros. They were kind of technical. I agree, Lee. I agree. It's a good fight, but it's not a pay-per-view. What's up, Stephen? How you doing, bro? Yeah, I agree, Marianne G. One thing that really pissed me off as well, because I grew up like broke as fuck, and we only had like Freeview. One thing that I felt was just tragic, and it really kind of put the nail in the coffin for me, was when ITV stopped showing Champions League games. Again, football now is not a working man's sport. Like the only football I watch religiously now is like the World Cup or the Euros, and occasionally I'll fucking stream a Man United game. Yeah, Dortmund 2013, great team. Goetze, Royce, Lewandowski. Yeah, it's a great team. Very good team. That final they had with Bayern Munich was a really good final as well. One of the better finals in recent years. Like the quality of football that day was really good. That was at Wembley. I know what you're saying, bro. I know what you're saying. Yeah, the World Cup's going on right now. It's in the quarterfinals right now. We're playing tomorrow against France, and we're gonna get fucking pumped. I'm just convincing myself we're gonna lose, and if we do lose, which we will, I'm not gonna be disappointed. Well, yeah. Football on ITV was great. Chelsea versus Benfica in the final. Yeah, that was the Europa League, I think. Like I remember watching Man United versus Chelsea. ITV won, beat Chelsea on penalties, and the next day, man, going into school, United just won the Champions League, and just cussing all the Chelsea fans. It was amazing. I even remember 1999. I was 5 years old. I was 5 years old. Sorry, no, I was 6. No, I was 5. I can't even fucking add up. Yeah, I was 5 years old. I even remember some of that game. I didn't watch it all though. I know that much. I think I went to bed at half time. But I remember my dad waking me up saying we'd won. Those were the days, man. Those were the days. That's when football was at its best. That's when football was at its best. There's too much money involved now. It's far too commercialized. It's getting to the point now where it's getting like American football. Yeah, that Madrid game when I think he scored a hat trick. I think he scored a hat trick. Do you mean Fat Ronaldo? Do you mean Fat Ronaldo? Because I think he scored a hat trick at Old Trafford, if I remember correctly. Good fighter, very entertainingly, very entertaining. Nice crouch style, powerful. Get him in there with like fucking Lara. That'd be a great fight. Although I think it's too early for him. I'd give Nick Ball a couple of fights, a couple more fights, let him develop. I mean, why not? What's Nick Ball? Where's he at now? Like, I don't see why he's not going for like a British title. Nick Ball versus Jazza Dickens would be a good fight. RVP was a great player, man. He was technically superb as well. He was technically brilliant. His left foot was crazy. I'll always remember the goal he scored for us as well against Villa when Rooney sprayed it at like 40 yards over the top of his shoulder, volley first time. It was against Villa, and I think that game we won the title. That was our last title. When Fergie bought Van Persie for that season alone, he was so clutch, man. I wouldn't be shocked, bro. I wouldn't be shocked, Lee. Lee Wood is very upright. He's a tall, rangy boxer puncher, and he could catch Nick Ball coming in. But if Ball gets on top of him, then it's a hard fight. Yeah, Guzan was in goal. I remember Brad Guzan. I remember. I remember him. Who was in goal for you lot when I was a kid? Was it Sorensen? I think his name was. Is it Tim Sorensen? Your best team, though, your best team was when you had Martin O'Neill. And he was like in the top 4 race for a season or two, if I recall correctly. You had like Ashley Young, John Carew, Stuart Downing. You had Milner. Yeah, James Milner. You actually had a decent team back then. Olaf Melberg, I think you had. You had a decent team back then. But yeah, Stuart Downing kind of got found out when he went to Liverpool. Ashley Young was hit and miss for us. Ashley Young had some good games. Yeah, madness. Yeah, Shay Given, he was at Villa. Yeah, he was. Because he was at Newcastle for the longest time. That's going to be interesting, though, to see how this Newcastle thing turns out. I'm not as salty, though. I'm not as salty about Newcastle getting rich owners as I was Man City. Because Newcastle are like a relatively big club. Whereas City, like they can talk about they won a couple of league trophies all they want, but the reality is, before that money came in, like you never saw the Etihad full unless they was playing us. That like as good as Man City are, even when they win trophies, it just doesn't feel like there's no passion there. It doesn't feel like a. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like even when they win games and shit and go clutch, like the atmosphere's dead. It's a soulless club, absolutely soulless club. I mean, even their stadium they basically got for free as well, because that was for the that stadium was made for the Commonwealth Games, and even the stadium they fucking lucked in on. Completely plastic club. I don't care what anyone says. Because at least even people say that about Chelsea. Well, Chelsea had a fan base. Chelsea had a big fucking fan base, and they were decent before Roman came in. They was like a top 6 team. They was like Tottenham kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Like Chelsea, like were making Champions Leagues now and again before Abramovich came in. They were again. There was basically kind of like Tottenham are now. They had some good players, man, like Hasselbank and Zola, Good Johnson. They had Lampard and Terry before Abramovich. Desai they had. To say like, oh, Chelsea were a small club is nonsense. They wasn't a small club. Whereas Man City were just an average size team. There was like a Sunderland or a fucking that sort of size team. Zola was a G, man. Yeah, Chelsea Villa 2000. But the thing is, though, I'm interested. Apparently, the Glazers are going to sell up, so we'll see. Honestly, the thing this is what I really want to happen. I hope to God, Man United get like taken over by like some Qatari fucking fund, like some funding group, just to trigger everybody. Like people would be so mad if Man United get taken over by some Qatari billionaires. They'd be so fucking mad. Zola's a G, yeah. Zola was great. I can see Isaac Cruz sparking Shakur. I'm not sure about that fight. I think that'll be a good fight. It'll be a good test. I would like to see it. I wouldn't mind seeing Warrington versus what's his face, Lee Wood. That's another good fight. I'll put it to you like this for Warrington. Like I'm not going to hold the Lara thing against him forever, but he needs to have a couple of good wins for me. Once if he does that in fair fashion, I'll forgive him. And if he gets knocked out by Thingy-Majiggy tomorrow, I'll forgive him. Like that'll be justice served. I'm not going to hold it against him, but I've just noticed it creeping into his fights a bit too much, and I don't like it. I don't like it. And if I see it against Lopez, I'm done with him. I hope it happens, bro. I hope it happens. I hope we get taken over by some filthy billionaire, like mad, like crazy money, like crazy wealth. That's what triggers me though about like other fans. They say, "Oh well, Man United have spent money. The Glazers have backed the managers." It's nonsense. Yes, we've spent money, but it's all been our own money. They bought the club leveraged on basically with debt, and all they've done year by year is serviced the debt. The players we have signed is our own money, and then they've taken dividends off the top. They've never put any of their own money into the club. They didn't even use their own money to buy it, and that's been exposed by the lack of development in the stadium. The roof is leaking. Lack of development in the training facilities. We're lagging behind. They've never spent a penny of their own money on the club. Not even to buy it. And we've still spent money, but again, it's been our own money. And yes, we've wasted it, but again, those are the people who the Glazers have put in place. The Glazers have backed United. No, they haven't. It's crazy. Yeah, football's dead for me anyway. It's soulless. Surely it's a bubble that has to burst. The money's ridiculous. Well, eventually what comes up must come down, right? It can't keep on going up and up and up and up and up. It can't. But it's going to be good for the Glazers considering how weak the pound is against the dollar. If they do sell up. Yeah, that's it, Pete. And I think that's going to be the compromise to the Super League. Because the reality is this, that will completely kill the competitiveness, though, of the Premier League. One thing about the TV deal, it does give other teams a chance to spend a bit of money. But if we get to the stage where individual clubs can dictate their own TV scheduling, then yeah, that's going to kill what's left of the Premier League in terms of competitiveness. Because United, as shit as we are, we would still demand and generate a huge TV revenue, huge, if we could sort our own TV deal out. Same with Liverpool, for example, even Arsenal. Because that's what they do in Spain. That's why Madrid and Spain have so much more money than everyone else, because they have their own TV deals. And if you look at the TV revenue in Spain, it's like Barcelona, Madrid, and then everyone else. It's peanuts for the rest. It's absolute peanuts. Where are we at? I'm good, boxing learner. I'm good. Yeah, probably why they're getting out now. Yeah, and interestingly, they haven't taken the dividends that they would usually take this month, And again, I think that may be a condition of a certain sale. I don't know. But I do want to see the back of them. I do want to see the back of them. Because I do think, genuinely, regardless of how crazy football's getting, I think a good Man United is better for the Premier League. Objectively, it is. Do I think Avanesyan is overrated? I think every prospect is overrated to a certain degree because we don't know how good they are. You know, until they've proven it, I guess every prospect is overrated to a certain degree. But I think he's talented. He's got a lot of physical gifts, speed, explosiveness, that sort of thing. Good reaction time. He's got a lot of natural physical traits that could take him a long way, but he needs to improve technically. If he's got a good trainer and he keeps his feet on the ground, then he could be a very interesting fighter. What I will say is those in and around him, guys like Harlem Eubank, I think he would smoke. See, I listen, I always thought that Kell Brook, even in prime, would beat Amir Khan. The timing of Kell Brook, I think, would get to Khan. You know, I just think Brook's timing. I think Brook always had a bad style matchup for Khan. It'd be much more competitive, though, don't get me wrong. To be fair, though, I think Charlton was ducking. I'll have to watch it back. I would have to watch it back, but I'm pretty sure Charlton was ducking. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd have to watch it back. Nah, not these days, bro. Take it and leave it. Yeah, I mean, I agree as well. Best parts for dinner, having a few drinks. But, you know, these days, especially this year, man, with how expensive everything is, it's like, fucking hell, man. Could do without it, really, this year. I'll be honest with you. I could do without it this year. Christmas. No, I get you, Marianji. I get you. That's my entitlement as a United fan. I know, I get you. And that's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment. But I don't care what anyone says, man. I don't care what anyone says. The oh, sorry, Holland just had a shot. So the title races between Man City and Liverpool, yeah, the football's been really good, but they're too nicey. There's no beef. There's no like. It never gets nasty. But when it was like United and Chelsea, United and Arsenal, even United and Newcastle that short time, it's all beef. It's all fucking rivalries and shit. It was all like it meant something. Do you know what I mean? It always felt like it meant something. Keane versus Vieira, you know, Mourinho versus Wenger. Like these games felt like they meant something. It was more than just winning. It was bragging rights. Doesn't feel like that way anymore. Maybe I've just got older. I don't know. Yeah, Peter McGrail is good. Yeah, I used to hate playing Arsenal as well back in the day because they were such a good team, man. Vieira in midfield, man. Vieira versus Keane, though, was like box office in itself. Vieira versus Keane was more value for money than many pay-per-views these days in boxing. Yeah, but I agree, though, Lee. Peter McGrail is good. Bum, I don't like him at all, G-Man. I think he's an absolute fucking arsebag. Absolute arsebag. Bootleg, yeah, like you say, a Poundland Conor McGregor. That's what he is. I hope he gets knocked out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it, really. It doesn't have a soul. That's what it is. And there was big money in football back then, but there was like an semblance of, I don't know, just your soul. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. Yeah, nothing like that anymore. Yeah, exactly. I think the last great season, the last truly great Premier League season was when Man City won their first league. I'll give them that. I will give them that. I will give them that. The Aguero goal. I will give them that. But I think that was like the last like nail biting title race. For me at least. Who's even the world champions? Like Warrington? No, not really, bro. Not really. Lee Wood. Maybe he could beat Lee Wood in a rematch. But is Lee Wood even the real champion? I don't even know what's going on with the WBA. I don't even know what's going on with that situation. It seems like now, it's kind of funny, Eddie Hearn and Lee Wood haven't got the split they want to fight Leo Santa Cruz. And I heard a rumour they're going to go back to Maurizio Lara. That's what I heard. Oh yeah, no. How can I forget about Leicester? Yeah, Leicester. No, Leicester was that was like a throwback moment. That was the story of Leicester was one of the greatest seasons in Premier League history. Actually, I'll take that back. Leicester, yeah, Leicester. I always forget for some reason about Leicester. Just seems so surreal that they won it. But yeah, Leicester winning the league actually was like the last truly great Premier League moment. Like it was so unusual. Like to do that over a 38-game season. Yeah, you can see that in the cup, like an FA Cup or even a League Cup or Carabao Cup. A random team can get to the final and win it, like Birmingham did that time. But to do that in a 38-game season is crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, okay, so Santa Cruz, Ray Vargas, Warrington, Wood. I don't think he beats Santa Cruz. I don't think he beats Vargas. I don't think he beats Warrington. Maybe he could beat Wood in a rematch. Yeah, he's a goofball selling tickets, man. But to me, he's just, again, we went back to, it's like with football. To me, if you're going to play that sort of role, I don't know what it is, but it just seems so cynical. Like when Connor first came along, as much as I don't like him now, it was fresh. It was something unique. He was his own thing. But like with Paddy Pimblett, man, it's like, I don't know, it just seems so fucking cynical. It just seems, it's so obvious what he's doing. And to me, that takes away like the magic of it. And I just think he's a prick, personally. I just think he's a bit of a prick. Okay, one sec. Yeah, the Lara fight's a good fight, no doubt. Maidana's too big. If Conlon is as good as he claims, why did he move up and down weights chasing the weakest champion? Exactly, bro. We know what was going on there. Yeah, no doubt. I agree, Stephen. Maidana's too big, man. Yeah, so that's a fight. I see it the opposite of you. I favour Lara, but I think Wood's got a good puncher's chance. I got a feeling that Wood is his upright style. I can just see Lara closing that distance and really kind of breaking Wood's structure and kind of beating him up close. However, Lara leaves a lot of gaps and he comes in square on at times. And Lee Wood's a very good straight counter puncher, and he can just throw good straight power shots. And you could easily see Lara walking into one of those shots and getting knocked out. But I would favour Lara. Good fight, though. Really good fight. Yeah. We will most likely never see a Leicester City again. That was a crazy story. I read something a while ago that when they buried Richard III in Leicester in 2015, started the rise. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, listen, bro, I'm not a big fan of Terence Crawford, But I saw some deluded Tank fans say that he would knock out Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would play with fucking Tank Davis, man. Even even if those guys were the same size, Terence Crawford is still levels above Tank. It's mad how delusional some people can be. I don't pay attention to him, Albanian boxer, but what I have heard of him, he winds me up, man. He winds me up. Listen, bro, he's never going to be a patch on Michael Bisping, bro. Never, never, never. Never in a million years. Leon Edwards as well. Big up to Leon Edwards. Like, these guys are actual hard guys, man. Tough guys who proved it in the octagon. Who took their knocks and actually earned what they got. This guy's a scumbag, in my opinion. The guy's listen. He's doing what he's doing, and it's working for him. But like, as a fighter, I think he's not proven anything. He's not proven anything. Like, he'd be lucky to have half a good as career as Michael Bisping. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, you know that again. We're talking about the clapping seals, though, G-man. I mean, it's very easy to win those over, isn't it? You know what you got to say. It's like it doesn't take much to win over the general public. He does, yeah. He does look a bit like Sergio Ramos. A little bit, yeah. I think he'll give Tio trouble early on, but I just think Tio's going to be too strong for him and hit too hard. The only way Sandor's got a chance in that fight is if Tio fights the way he did against Kambosos. Now, Andrew Tate, if you look at Andrew Tate on the pads, he looks terrible, I ain't going to lie. Chin in the air. And also, he's got a small head, which usually indicates he's got a bad chin. Not going to lie. I think he'd get beat by any decent boxer. Yeah, exactly. Never missed a Chael or Bisping press conference. Yeah, exactly. Because Chael really kind of brought the WWE persona to UFC, but he played it so fucking well. So well. Again, I don't mind trash talkers, man, but I don't know, it's some appeal to me and some don't. 1-0 Argentina. Fuck's sake. Yeah, literally repeat what is popular and say it after an event and you've won over the crowd. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's all you got to do these days. That's all you've got to do. See, again, I agree, Lee. I agree. See, I think Regis still has a lot left to give at 140, whereas Taylor, no, he's on fumes now at 140. He's on fumes. I'd like to see it again, but like if I was managing Taylor, I would say don't take that fight. Don't entertain it. If you do, make sure it's at 147. That's a good pass by Messi, but I can't lie. Yeah, 1-0 Argentina. Fuck's sake. I think the right back scored, you know. Sec. I'm fucking tight. Lol. That was a great reverse pass, Pete, by Messi. Yeah. Yeah, bro. That's what I said. G-man. So this fight tomorrow against Sandor Martin is a WBC eliminator. Despite that, I can't see Tio going anywhere near pro grade. I really can't. If Tio fights pro grade, listen, I'll give him his credit. Because I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. I think pro grade is a terrible fight for Tio. They've got a chance. They've got a chance, without doubt. Without doubt. I hope they don't. I hope they don't. I would rather us lose tomorrow to France in the quarterfinals than get to the final and lose to Argentina. I don't think I could stomach watching Argentina win it. Really, in an ideal world, we beat France tomorrow, Argentina go out tonight, and I wouldn't really have a problem if we didn't win it then. Like, I don't really hate any of the other teams. I don't dislike Portugal. I don't dislike Croatia. You know? But I just don't want France to... I don't want France to win it, and I don't want Argentina to win it. Game changed, facts. Yeah, Tio's going to go the WBO route. I agree. I don't think Tio would take it, bro. Ah, G-Man, yeah, come on, man. Yeah, I agree, though, Alex. This needs to be one and done now for Josh Taylor at 140. He needs to take care of Catterall, do the job properly, and then go to 147. Go to 147. But I think Taylor's going to struggle at 147 for some reason. But who knows? I could be wrong. I honestly think the best fight for Taylor at 147, I'm not saying he'd win, but in terms of it being like a super competitive fight, could be Errol Spence. I just think he matches up badly with Crawford. I really do. I don't think he will. I think Taylor will be a lot more switched on in the rematch. I know he's still going to struggle with weight, but I think he's going to be a lot more switched on. Yeah, that's true, Pete. If Harry's not exposed tomorrow, we can win. One thing about France, you can get to them. They do concede now and again. And as somebody was mentioning earlier, Dembele and Mbappe, as good as they are, they don't always track back. So we could have opportunities where we're like 2-on-1 against their fullback. Okay, or fullbacks, sorry. See, I don't think so. Lee. I don't think he'd beat Ramirez, Tio, or Progre, or Matias. Because Matias and Ponce are fighting for the vacant IBF. Yeah, I agree. I said 4-1 on Twitter, G-Man. I agree. I think we're going to get pumped. Again, I really hope I'm wrong, obviously. Six to 1 again, but I just don't see it, bro. I don't see it. I know he beat Mikey, I get it. But like, he's going to have to win clearly against Tio. Clearly to get a decision, and he's not knocking him out. I'd leave your money alone on that one, bro. If you're looking for value, I'd say more than likely look at Lopez against Warrington, maybe by stoppage. I think that's better value and more realistic. And that's what I'm predicting. I'm not saying it's a certainty, but it's possible, in my opinion. Fucking useless, Holland, man. Yeah, man. Since Ronaldo and Rivaldo, etc., Cafu, Ronaldinho, They've not really put it together. They've not put it together. I don't think I've seen fucking Holland have a shot yet. Fucking useless. That's the thing though with this Holland team. They've got no decent fucking striker. Like Memphis isn't a striker. They haven't got like a Van Nistelrooy or a Van Persie. That's what they could. That's what this sort of team could do with. It's only 2-1. I'll tell you what though, those odds have closed, Marianne. Those odds have closed because when that fight was first announced, Lopez was he was wider than that. I think, yeah, he was a lot wider than he is now. I don't know though if I'm brave enough to put a bet down. Yeah, Van Nistelrooy was a poacher, G-Man, yeah. Proper poacher. Always in the right spot at the right time. Like, always guaranteed like 20, 30 goals a season. But he never really, I don't know. He was never really like, he doesn't really get looked back fondly upon by United fans for whatever reason. But I liked him. I liked him. Hang on, 1 second. Fuck's sake, hang on. Bollocks. There we go. Sorry, Argentina. Yeah, it was some right back. Messi set it up. Well, unless you mean Holland. I don't know if someone else has scored. But yeah, for Argentina, I think it was Molina, maybe. Yeah, it was Molina. Messi set it up though. Really good reverse pass. Really good reverse pass. I'm doing two things at once here. Leon beats Usman. He's looking sharp. I think Usman might win the rematch. But again, it depends though. It has Usman's chin completely gone now. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. And you too, Marianne G. Enjoy your weekend, bro. Enjoy your weekend. Bro, Argentina just irk me so much. I don't know why. Fuck these people, man. Yeah, even now, bro, I agree. I think Jorge's just too big. Jorge's too big. And Connor's looking like a right fucking juice freak right now. He gassed at the best of the times. He's talking about fighting at 170? He's gonna get fucking smoked. Like, imagine Connor in there with someone like, even like Colby Covington, for example. Can you imagine that? Or let alone like Kamzat. That's what I say. Do you know what? Feed fucking Connor to Kamzat. Feed Connor to Kamzat. That's what I want to see. I want to see Connor get fucking mauled. Yeah, that's the fight I think will happen as well. XMB. Connor versus Chandler. In terms of like world level guys who he could maybe beat, I think Chandler he's got the best chance against, because Chandler's very strong, he's very aggressive, he hits hard, and he's a really good wrestler, but his fight IQ isn't the highest. He makes so many mistakes, and he's susceptible to being knocked out. So if Connor can beat anybody, he may be able to beat Chandler, but I don't think he will still. I still make Chandler a favourite. But if he's going to beat anybody of any consequence, it could be Chandler. I'd love to see it, though, XMB. I kill everybody! That guy's fucking hilarious, man, Kamzat. He's talented as well, Kamzat. He just needs to get his head screwed on. He's very talented. I agree. Yeah, it made a lot of money real quick. Yeah, that's with McGregor, though, as well. He gasses. I remember that, yeah. The old wink, yeah. I'm going to the Warrington fight tomorrow as a Scotsman in Leeds. I can see me getting beat. I see the arena getting smashed up before the main event boxing card starts. Leeds Arena, booze, football and boxing. Bro, imagine if Warrington also loses. Tony versus Connor would make sense. Like Tony is shot to bits. Like shot. So I think Connor could win that. I think Connor more than likely would win that. But again, you know, people said when Conor McGregor died off, the UFC would die. UFC are still doing really good. UFC are still doing really good, man. The fight I want to see most, though, next year, if I can make any fight in the UFC, is Francis Ngannou versus John Jones. That's a rare MMA fight I might even make a video for. I'd really want to see that. I can't see the main event happening. When England lose, they will smash the arena, their own arena, and the idiots will destroy it. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked, bro. I wouldn't be shocked. I think they'll be all right, though, in all seriousness. Yeah, Tony's going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life if he continues to fight. Yeah, he's like Chisora. He's like the Chisora of the MMA world. The guy, when he lost to Justin Gaethje, because I watched that fight because there was no boxing on at the time because of the pandemic. But when Tony got beat by Gaethje, man, that fight took his soul. I mean, he took a fucking beating in that fight. The amount of hard shots he took was insane. Like, I don't know how he survived as long as he did in that fight. Like, Tony's chin in his prime was legit. Like, just a great chin. It's a sin. It's a sin counter punch. That's a sin. It's haram. It's haram. I don't even rate Ebony like that. I can't lie. I don't even rate Ebony like that. So yeah, 1-0 Argentina at halftime, by the way, guys. Okay. Sorry, I'm like doing like two different things at once. My bad, guys. My bad. Probably came on at the wrong time, but I wanted to get something up. I was going to do a video on Crawford and Avanesyan. I couldn't be bothered though. Couldn't be asked. Could not be asked. I do wonder like what that fight's going to do numbers wise. I think that's $50 on pay-per-view. I'm not even sure whether that fight's in the UK on any TV channel. Fuck's sake, hang on. But yeah, guys, hang on. Terence the Duck Crawford, big up to Iceman. Salute. Hopefully you're well, Iceman. Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed in Terence Crawford this year. Avanesyan, do you know Avanesyan, right? The fight would be acceptable if like Crawford's fighting 3 times a year and he's fighting good competition in between. Avanesyan would be a fine voluntary defense. But when you're fighting once a year, it's not good enough. I don't care about the circumstances, man. If you can fucking squander up 10 million to take this fight, well, I say you could have took other fights. You know? That's how I see it. Avanesyan is by no means is Avanesyan a bum, but like again, for a fighter of Terence Crawford's quality, for this to be his only fight this year is poor. It's really poor. It's really poor, man. Yeah, well, you're right about Rio Ferdinand, by the way. Ow. Hang on. It's not going to happen, bro. I think Avanesyan might have a bit of success early on, maybe similar to Kavalauskas, but that's as good as it's going to get for him. That's as good as it's going to get for him. But yeah, guys, I need to wrap this up. I need to get something to eat. I'm fucking starving. I am absolutely starving. But yeah, I'll try and get some post fights done this weekend and enjoy the fights, enjoy the football, and yeah, be safe, guys. Peace.